start off with your view on how ready South Sudan is for business at this stage.
Thank you. South Sudan is obviously ready. People have said that there are immense resources to be exploited, natural resources. The government is trying to match that with favorable business procedures. So it is ready, yes, by virtue of the fact that, you have a government that is determined to realize the benefits of private investments, but there is a lot of work to be done. One cannot say that you're going to get in as an investor and get it smooth all the way at this stage. There's quite some work. The positive thing is that the goodwill is there.
Where the goodwill is there, let's take the view on a role that you see, development finance playing in this situation, because first things first, this is an economy that needs to be built up from ground zero, and with that, infrastructure very much in focus.
Yeah, most of the post-conflict reconstruction work in the Southern Sudan, I think in the short term, is going to be financed by I think external sources. Of course, the government is getting quite some money from oil revenues, but I think the reconstruction agenda and the program is big, that it is not possible that the government revenue from oil mainly is going to finance everything. So even in the area of infrastructure, you're going to see most of the projects being funded by resources from outside. For example, the latest road linking Juba and Nimule, the 192-kilometer stretch of road, has been funded by the government of the United States at a cost of about $230 million US. That trend is likely to continue, especially if the World Bank and other multilateral donors are going to maintain the funds that they have for reconstruction in Southern Sudan.
And George, of course, there's the overall broader macroeconomic financial climate to consider that needs to be developed and managed in tandem. How long do you see it before the necessary regulatory frameworks and policy frameworks are actually put in place?
It will definitely take time. But again, the thing is that this is not something that has caught anyone by surprise. The independence of Southern Sudan is something that was anticipated. We are aware that, in the run-up to the referendum since last year, the World Bank and the IMF have been offering technical support to the government of Southern Sudan in anticipation of their independence. So it should not be taken that work is going to start from ground zero, as it were. I think a lot of preparatory work has been taken, and a fair estimation could be something like in 2 years, actually, you could have some of the policies in place, I think.
So how are you assessing risk appetite when it comes to the business community at large at this stage? Because it's really a double-edged sword here. While they may be taking the risk at, venturing into greenfield operations, there's also a risk of holding back that may well put them behind the curve a little further down the line.
I think it's like you say, and you're right, it is a very tricky thing for businesses, because you're right. I mean, if one holds back, the opportunities are there and they might just miss out. But again, we know that the peace situation in particular is quite fragile. And, so much investment in a short time might also go down if the peace gets disturbed or something like that. But I think this is something that every business that is intent on investing in fragile economies has to deal with. And I think Southern Sudan is one of the most fragile economies one can talk about today.
Absolutely. Let's take a look, though, at the value proposition that fragile economy boasts.
Sorry?
Let's take a look, though, at the value proposition that should be enticing the business community at this stage.
Well, I think there is a lot. There's a lot. The population of Southern Sudan, well, there are not many people, so the market in terms of, a population is not huge. But there's a lot of exploitation of natural resources to be done. There's going to be huge contracts in infrastructure development. There's going to be huge contracts in, building public facilities, in providing social services. So there's, if you like, appetite for businesses is there, and I think the question is whether or not they're going to take the risks. So there's quite a lot in terms of incentives to get into the Southern Sudan market today.
Certainly, this not for the faint-hearted and deserving of a longer-term investment and commitment.